Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to my gameplay reactions and trailer reaction videos. Tonight we are looking at yet another video from Total War 3 Kingdoms, namely the gameplay reveal for the ambush of Sun Ren. Now, this will show us, obviously, the mechanics with regards to combat at night, combat near rivers, and combat when you've been completely surprised and you've got to get your silly ass out of the battle zone as quickly as possible. Let's go.
Our new Let's Play for Total War 3 Kingdoms. Today we're playing the new ambush battle, the ambush of Sun Ren.
This really is beautiful. Look at this.
This is our playable demo for Gamescom, so if you're there, you can play it for yourselves.
I obviously was not at Sun Ren at Gamescom, so I didn't get to play this.
Is divided. It is a rich and fertile land where harmony once ruled and may yet again.
Story of every land in a civil war.
The once proud capital of Luoyang lies in ruins, and all along the
shame.
great
So
Yellow
there's
River,
the river.
A terrible conflict
It has been confirmed there will be no naval battles, which is a terrible shame.
His iron grip is beset on all sides.
And there's Lu Bu.
A coalition of warlords has formed to defy his rule. The wise Chancellor Cao Cao, the noble Liu Bei, and the great General Sun Jian have combined forces to thwart him at every turn.
Okay.
However, it is a marriage of convenience. Even now, the cunning Cao Cao looks beyond the fall of Dongzhuo to his own future conquests.
Yeah, well,
he has planted a spy in the court of his ally, Sun Jian.
You don't get to be a warlord by being nice, especially in a time like this.
Opportunity to strike. Lady Sun, Sun Jian's noble daughter and one of his finest generals, leads her army in the east. Around her, she feels 1,000 unknown eyes watching. There is a rustling in the trees and a dark secret in the mountains. The trap is set.
And so it begins.
It is quiet here, brother.
Love these little cinematics. Okay, hear that? That is her brother.
There! Movement in the tree line. An ambush is imminent. We must be ready.
Did all the red lanterns give it away?
If we cross the river, we could escape through the southern gates. Or we could attempt to survive the ambush through force of arms. This hill would make a good defensive position en route, should more forces arrive. Prepare for battle, brother, and may your blade strike true.
The enemy is upon us, and we don't have much time to prepare our defenses. I'm turning all bar one of my units to face the charging enemy, pulling my Azure Dragons
getting ambushed
back to fire
absolutely sucks.
And using Sun Ren's ability to take the damage out of the charge before committing him into battle. Sun Ren is going to ride out with her cavalry and begin flanking the enemy, hitting their archers and taking out their strategist, before quickly attacking the enemy in the rear.
So yeah, see, those are abilities being used to buff your own men, rather than to give you the edge in a duel.
This enemy army is mainly weak sword units, and they can hardly make a dent in my front line. Even with the advantage of surprise, they are slaughtered.
Oops.
With some of the enemy units dealt with, I'm going to peel off a few of my own and get them moving towards the defensible position on
So the
other
thing
side
that
of the
I'm
river.
hoping for is some more cinematic combat.
Before long, the enemy is in full rout, so I'm sending my cavalry after them to make sure they don't come back.
Brutal.
I don't want to hang around here longer than I must, so my army has continued along the road and begun the slow crossing of the river.
River crossings make me nervous. I learned the hard way in Total War Warhammer, not Total War Warhammer, in Total War Medieval 2, and every subsequent game.
We are
The
outnumbered,
crossing a
so our
river
strategy is now key to surviving this.
makes you incredibly vulnerable.
Swen Tren has a passive ability to increase the speed of units around him, so keeping him close to the army is essential.
Now, did you notice that the second army
Both he and Swen
of
Tren
ambushers
are
came out
stronger
in the
battle
path
when fighting together, due to them
of
being
the
siblings and close friends.
fight?
However, if one hero were to fall, the other would go berserk in their quest
There we
for
go.
vengeance,
See?
gaining large buffs for a limited time. I want to be in position when these reinforcements engage, otherwise we will delve further into chaos, so I need to move as quickly as I can. My front line consists of mercenary swords, which I've put into the shield wall to protect them from the incoming charge.
Oh.
And my protectors of heaven are moving to the flanks. One is already in position and in square formation. The other is unfortunately caught out before they can get into position. My cavalry is heading out into the forest to seek cover and come in for a rear charge. The enemy is drawing in. The Azure Dragons are just getting into position. Hopefully they'll be able to loose their arrows in time to do some damage. Now I need to move my cavalry into position behind the enemy. That's
Here's
really
hoping we
not
get
good
some
at all.
cinematic
There
fights.
are further reinforcements coming from the other side of the river. I'm going to have to turn the Azure Dragons around to stop them. I am well and truly outnumbered here. It is clear we need to flee, so let's work on carving a path out of here. Sun Ren is going to unleash a Heartseeker at Zhong Liao. This should deal huge amounts of damage to him and make it easier to kill him in the duel. Once on foot, we'll use Flames of the Phoenix to bring him down further. With him dead, his regiments will suffer
Ooh.
a huge morale penalty,
That's
which should
beautiful.
help us break through and escape. My cavalry have taken heavy losses from the enemy spears, but they are still going to be valuable in helping me escape, using them as a rear impact force to break the morale of the enemy. The rear attackers have hit my Azure Dragons and begun to flank them. There is no hope in getting them out of this battle. They're going to have to hold the enemy off for as long as they can. Swen Ren is again going to fire a Heartseeker at Shi Huang, nearly killing him, and then engaging with the duel for the final blow.
Huh. So what we really need is cinematic, more cinematic combat between units.
My Azure
I
Dragons
love
are
the
making
kill
a huge effort
animations
to keep the enemy pinned
from
down.
Attila
And my
and
front line is starting to break through and rout the enemy, shoring
Rome
up the way
too.
to the extraction point. The final general is dead. The morale of his army should begin to crumble without the leadership, but
There we
even
go.
so, they still far outnumber my weakened forces. So I'm making a break for the extraction point while I still can.
uh-oh. Someone's gonna die.
I don't have a lot of time before the back line gives out, and the rest of the attackers pursue us. So I'm going to have to put as much as I can between us and them. My Azure Dragons are in a formation where the front line is in melee and the back are still able to fire, maximizing damage output. With only a few enemy units left, I commit all of my remaining front line to kill them off. If they want to escape, they're going to have to fight for it. My front line is now free, so I'm grouping them together for their escape. Lady Swen will lead the army out. Swen Tren holding the rear, giving a speed boost to anyone escaping over the line before he too escapes. I've sacrificed my mercenary companies and Azure Dragons to ensure Swen Ren and Swen Tren escape with their lives. But that is a trade I will gladly make. Heroes play a huge role in the campaign, and although I've lost this battle, saving both characters is a big morale victory. Swen Ren and Swen Tren will be key in getting vengeance on the treacherous Cao Cao. And I will have my vengeance.
Okay, so let's talk about what we just saw. So, right off the bat, this is a mechanic that I don't feel I've ever really seen in Total War before, where you are able to flee from an ambush. Historically, as far as I'm aware, getting ambushed has been an ingredient for having to fight to the death and hope that you can win, either killing the entire ambushing force or forcing them to retreat. Having the opportunity to actually run away in this situation is really quite reassuring, especially given that sometimes, as we saw in this battle, you just are not prepared to fight the fight that you have found yourself stuck in. Now, we saw two duels, and though both were won, obviously the demonstrator still lost the battle, given that he was so dramatically outnumbered by the enemy. Sometimes that happens, and that's totally okay. But the idea of spies, what he didn't mention is that spy was a lord. Probably a lord with very high loyalty to Cao Cao, who was given permission to go and join Sun Ren and the others. And that's the kind of thing that we're going to be able to do. That and things that involve even more in-depth shenanigans. All in all, I just cannot wait, and when this game comes out in the spring, I'm going to be so excited to play it and to bring historical Total War content to my channel. I hope you guys are all just as excited as I am for this latest installment in the Total War historical saga. Until next time, everybody, I'm Z, and this is Vucari Games. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody.